Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the guest lecture series by Emeritus India Career Services. I'm Shivam Gupta, and I'll be moderating this session. If you have any questions during the session, please type them into the Q&A box, and I'll bring them up during our Q&A round. For our session today, we have with us Nitesh Baheti. Nitesh is currently working as a group lead in Novartis India and managing a global services portfolio of various enterprise products in the ERC domain, including data science and analytics. He's an industry consultant offering over 19 plus years of experience and expertise in the areas of account management, relationship management, business development, with a focus on enterprise value, end-to-end delivery management, and people management. And he is here to take us through today's topic, the road to cracking data science interviews. Nitesh, it's a pleasure to have you with us here. Welcome again, and stage is all yours.
Thanks, Shivam, and welcome all. It's great to see so many people joining us here. So, probably one thing that we can actually do to start here is, can I ask the people who have joined us here saying, tell us in one word, what data science interviews makes you feel? To actually get a feel of how you are feeling when you think about attending data science interviews or taking up data science interviews. You can probably post them in the chat. Okay, so I can put that in the chat window here. So, business problems, nice. Great attention to how you can interpret numbers. Nice. Maybe more technical, data-driven insights, how to solve business issues, advanced statistics. Not sure, okay. Depends on the kind of company we are joining. All scenarios posed during the interview. Maybe data science, but I have skill to analyze numbers. Nice. Interesting thoughts coming across, which is ranging from company data, data analysis to all the data science related broad terms, which is great. So probably one other question that I can ask here, sure, okay. So what are your major concerns in attending data science interviews? In case we think of it, saying what are the major concerns that we actually feel? Domain knowledge, okay. Statistics lessness, okay. What is the interview? Okay, great. Non-science, data science or IT background, which is okay. Different field but wanting to switch, okay, perfect. And which are based on available data and solve ongoing issues. In-depth details will be asked, knowledge background. Great. I think from academic background, what are the options? Okay. Okay, nice, interesting. So probably in that particular case, see, majority of the questions that we are seeing here, we will be able to answer some of these questions, and at the same time, what we will also do is we will have some tips and tricks that I have actually attached as the last as well, that you should be able to utilize on a better note. Hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, Nitesh, we can.
Thank you. Thank you. So one thing that everyone have understood here is, right, whenever we talk about data science, it's all about data. Saying what is it that we want to do? What is it? It's all about data. Yes. So let's begin here. So when we see before we move on to the emerging needs of data science, because data science has been a broad term and at the same time there are more and more things coming up. So when we talk about data science, it's all about asking the right questions. First and the foremost important thing is asking the right questions and exploring the data. It is more about doing data analysis, as one of your colleagues have confirmed here. It is more about asking the right questions and exploring the data to see what it actually entails and what we can uncover from the data. And then we utilize all the various data algorithms to bring in more insights or forecast, as one of your colleagues was also mentioning about it. It is more about all of these. And then at the end, it is more about communicating what you have built as a product and visualizing in a way that it gives us an impact. Because yes, you have built it, but if in case you are unable to communicate it, then it doesn't make that impact. So you need to ensure that yes, it is built rightly, it is built as relevant, and at the same time we are communicating it right. So what are the different things that we actually see as an emerging needs in terms of data science? One is we have to be proactive and anticipating needs. The reason why I say anticipate, because most of the people do know, saying, okay, yes, these are the various things that I have as a data, but I don't know what do I need, what can I have with it. And that's where the role of all of us that we are in the group here is important. Mitigating risk and the fraud, because this is one of the things with internet arising, this is one of the key challenges that people are facing. And we continue to see more and more algorithms being built towards it in terms of identifying the risk or identifying fraud and mitigating the risk. And one of the other important things is delivering relevant products. Because if you don't ask the right question, you will not deliver the right product as well. And if you don't deliver the right product, it doesn't make sense. And there have been many projects which I have seen in my own past 7-8 years, wherein the projects have actually failed because we have not delivered the right thing, what was needed. We have not built it relevant. And other things that people have actually looked at it is more of personalizations, which is, can I have a bit more, which is more aligned to my own needs or business related needs, rather than having a generic one. We build it more customized. And then it's more about customer experience, because all of us that we are trying to build is for a particular business, and business is actually giving it to the customers. So when I say this, see, whenever we talk about a data science as a project, there are various roles into it. And we have to understand what each and every role means, because some of these roles might be meant for us, some of these roles might not be meant for us. Like one of the roles that is actually played is more of the process owners, who deals with project management, and then stakeholder management, maintaining a vision, facilitating the entire program or the project, which is driving the entire suite there. And then we have 3 different roles that are existing into it, which majority of the times nowadays, they are actually being merged and people are looking at one particular person as well, which is data scientist, data engineer, and visualization expert, which is we are engineering the data to analyze that particular data, explore the data, then we are building the algorithms, then we are visualizing it properly. So these are the various skills that sometimes do merge as well. So we have to ensure that yes, it is being done accordingly. Sales manager, okay. Probably I'll take a question, Abhishek, that you have given probably at the last, if you're okay. So going further on this, when we talk about it, see, it's about how do we proceed forward, and the focus areas that we need to have here, the key things that we have to focus is, one is on domain expertise. So when we say we are actually building data products, or we are actually building more of data modeling and doing all these things out, we have to understand the domain first. Because if you don't understand the domain, whatever you have built, it will not be relevant. And if I don't understand the domain, shall I not get into it? It is not that case as well. You can always get into that particular part. You can always start understanding the domain and start to build that particular knowledge, because that is the most important part. And second is more about problem solving. We should always hear a problem solving hack. And at the same time, don't think of only one particular solution or approach or something else. Look at multiple approaches, look at multiple solutions, because alternative things are what are important to us. Third, and the most important thing as well, is technical side of the things, which is we should be able to model whatever we have built as a model. We should be able to build and implement as well. Otherwise, it's a case wherein it is still half-baked, and half-baked doesn't work for us. Last is more about communication. It is important that we should be able to communicate the story of what we are trying to solve as a business from a business need standpoint, and how will it be helpful to the business users. Otherwise, It's just common. Someone has built one. If they have not communicated it right, it doesn't work. And there have been numerous products which have failed across not just data science and even multiple other products. The moment you say communication failures, product failures due to communication, you will see quite a lot, even in the pharma industry and even in the technical and multiple other industries. So you have to ensure that the communication is done right. Now, one of the key things that our people were also asking, saying, okay, I am actually new to data science. I'm from a different field. I don't know technology. How do I go about it? Yes, it's all relevant. Whatever you have mentioned is right. But in that particular case, what do we do? Because we are aiming to get into this career. So we need to start somewhere and we have to continue with it. So one is learn by doing, which is you learn and you do. Otherwise, you just learn and you don't do it, it will not work. We have to be hands-on. Second is, once you learn, apply. Apply in a sense, it is more about the problems or the day-to-day things that you are actually doing. See, even as an example, Abhishek, you might be doing certain things in terms of sales manager as an activity. So whatever you have learned here, can you apply those particular things in your own relevant jobs? That's when you will be able to take it forward and you will be able to learn more and more, saying, okay, what things have worked, what things have not worked, and then come back and ask those questions. Otherwise, we have learned it, but we don't apply it, it doesn't go good. Be consistent. What I mean by this is we have to be consistent in terms of saying, I read everything every day. Learn small things, but learn every day. You can't do it as a case wherein you are trying to learn something now and you are planning to implement it after a month. You will forget everything. You don't need to do that. You continue doing that out. You continue to learn every day. You continue to implement. You continue to apply, do everything in small pieces. Whatever the time permissible for you, continue doing that on a day-to-day basis. Stay updated. It is understand how the technology, how this particular field is evolving all together. If you don't understand it, you will, or if you are not updated onto it, you have learned everything right now, but will that be stay the same next year? Or will that stay the same after 6 months? Probably no. So that's where it is important that you stay updated as well. And there are certain links that I have provided at the end, which you can always explore and learn and keep yourself updated. So that can be shared across. Other important thing is be visible. What I mean by here is you should be visible, not in terms of saying, okay, I have learned this program and I have actually done this particular program, these are my marks. No, it is not that case, because earlier or in the era earlier as we think of, it used to work saying we have certificates and we have numbers, it's all well. But if in case you want to be visible, then you have to be visible in the digital platforms, which could either be via hackathons, it could be via internships, it could be via multiple others. But you have to be visible. And as I said, no time is the right time. If you believe on it, start doing that from now or from today or from tomorrow. Plan for it and continue doing that out. Then create an impressive resume. Go away with 3-4 pages. It's only a single page that we need to have, because nowadays people are actually short of time. In that particular case, a single page document, impressive resume works out for us. And this is how the things are being looked at. And the last and the most important thing is express everything that you have learned in common man's language. You say you are from a non-IT team, you say you are from a different field altogether, everything perfectly fine. But if in case you're us, when you are trying to move into this particular field, you will work with the people or your own clients or your own stakeholders who would ideally be not understanding data science as a field. In that particular case, how will you explain whatever you have built across them? Like as an example, think of all the statistical related terms. Anything that you want to do. ANOVA as an example. Can you explain it via just a simple soup? Saying, I'm drinking a soup, you drink once, You drink multiple times, median, and you mode. And then you actually build a soup one day and you build a soup another day. And you compare. That's ANOVA. Analysis of variance, saying what has been different in terms of the taste. Think of it and try to understand everything in common span language, because that's how you will be able to build, and you will be able to understand the various real world scenarios that you are looking at it. In an easier way, you will be able to connect to it much better, and that's what is important. And few other things is, yes, go for growing companies, because they are the ones who are ready to take risks, and they are the ones who wants to do a lot more. They have that hunger, and you are also getting into it with that hunger. So continue doing that out. Get into that. Gain practical exposure through internships, hackathons. There are some solutions that are already available. Try doing that out. See what you have done and what is already available there. Compare that particular thing, and you'll be able to see the difference. And the last thing that I would actually say is, take up more and more data related roles, because that is how you would be able to understand one, data, two, play with the data, and three, you would be able to get into that domain as well. And that's what is important. Going further, when we talk about the interview questions, there are ideally there are around 4 rounds that we actually see. One is more of a technical or a pure coding round that will be there. And then it is more about the further rounds is more getting into saying qualitative and technical analysis, or case study analysis, wherein you are given a case study and you are asked to explain, and you are asked to build a model and then get the real things onto it. Then a couple of other rounds would be more of the manager related interviews, more from a culture and behavioral standpoint. So this is how it will be. There is nothing different to it in terms of how your regular interviews goes, but in this particular case, it will be much more focused on the areas that you're trying to learn. Some of the other tips that I would actually say is, learn about the company that you're trying to apply for. Learn about the domain that you are actually getting into. Read blogs about their current strategy and plans on data science, if it is available across. Read all that particular thing. Try understanding any real-time scenarios if there are available on the internet or via your friends, or if there are none like that, then explore the domain related scenarios that are available in the internet. You will get majority of the things here. Then practice by yourself and do with your own peers and mentors as well, because try improving even a smaller bit, even a 1% improvement is an improvement. Continue doing that out. And that's how you actually change and build yourself up. Some sample questions here. When we talk about, probably you can also help me tell. What attracts you to a career in data science as an example when it is talked about? As a question, assume that you are asked in an interview. Normally you would say it's a buzzword, everything is known across to everyone, but is the interviewer expecting the same type of things? Probably no. So in this particular case, what they are expecting is more of your own passion for data science. What is it that you want to do? Your own passion for data. And that is what is important, saying how you are actually interested or how you are getting attracted to its field. And then some other questions are, why should we hire you as a data scientist? Because assume that you have not been into this role, so why? So a couple of other questions that are being asked here. So why should we hire you? I have a passion. You should look at saying that it is more about your own passion for data, and talk more about how the firm, the company, is actually using technology to utilize their data better and connect both of these things. And that's what is important. It is more about your own passion, what they are expecting, and how you bridge that particular gap. And that's what they are looking out for you. So one important change that we have to understand is data science interviews are different from the rest of the interviews. So can you ask how or why? As an example, can people who would be interested to share their thoughts, saying how is a data science interview different from the rest? I can type that question as well. So if people can share their own thoughts, saying what is it that they think, more hands-on or practical solutioning or issues is asked. Okay, it's practical applications, storytelling using data to solve business problems. Perfect, great. Forecasting from current data. Now we are actually getting into, see, not everything is about saying how do we actually build those forecasts, how do we look at analytical insights and all. That is something that we will be more of getting into details. But how is data science interview different from the rest? Normally in all our interviews that we are actually going through, people expect you to say, okay, how are you going to support them in their own business decisions, or how are you going to help them out, or how will it work for them? But in data science interviews, one is you have to understand the data, and you have to apply or connect that data to business decisions and strategy, which is more towards, yes, as you have rightly said, solution oriented. So data to business decisions, you have to bridge that particular gap and you would have to take it forward. And that's what it is important. We cannot leave the data, we cannot leave the business decisions as alone. We need to connect these and then we have to answer it. And that's what is important. See, probably I can share one more thing. One more tip is, see, whenever you are doing an interview, at the end, there would always be a question saying, do you have any questions for us? That's a way you can actually put yourself forward and saying, it's your own process through which you can tell them, saying that, okay, yes, I am the right guy. But how do you say that? You should ask your questions which are more relevant from a data scientist standpoint, which could be what type or size of data is the team working with? Does the team develop new algorithms? Are they implementing algorithms? What is the typical background of existing team members? So think about all these different questions around which are more relevant, and at the same time, it is actually showing them that yes, you're more inclined and interested to learn, because that is what is important. Okay. Some of the tips and references that I can actually share here is one, yes, as I said, good resume or a CV. That is much more important, because it's a way through which you are actually representing yourself on a first time, or for the first time to the interviewer. You're not even seen, you're not even there, but they will be seeing you and shortlisting you basis your own profile. So have that rightly built, which is the most important part. And if you have built any solutions, have that particular solutions. If you have worked on any case studies, or if you have been in the digital platforms anywhere else, have every detail listed, because that is how people will be able to correlate and say, yes, this particular person is new, but they are actually in these forums, and in those forums, if you have done something good, have all those details being listed. That's what is important. Second, as I said, your digital presence speaks louder than words, because you have to be available in the latest forums, because everyone is asking in those forums, are you there? Do you know what to do? How do you need to do? What kind of things are we looking at it? Getting more and more important and getting more and more details. So be there. Following various data science forums. I've tried including that here as well, and there are many more, so please feel free to do it. But follow the various data science forums. Probably one of the least things that I've actually seen in majority of the interviews, and because of which the people are actually failing in the interviews, is we build solutions or we build models, but we don't know how to implement them. This is one of the big challenges that I have observed, personally myself as well. So you are able to build solutions, you are able to connect everything around. In that particular case, you should look at implementing the solutions as well. How do you need to do it? What kind of challenges comes in? So it's more about now getting into those various challenges, So you should know where, how, and all these details. Learn more about the domain, company, and the area basis the job description that is being shared, because that is what is more important for us. You should do all these things. So this is more of the preparations where we need to have. If we think these preparations can be done in a day, practically no. It takes time, its own time. But if we are committed and we continue doing that out, we will be able to gain. We have to be consistent. Like other things that I have mentioned here, which is practice solutions to real world problems and understand gaps to gain more and more experience. Even if you improve 1% every day, in a month you are improving 30%, which is almost in terms of numbers. Start doing that. Start doing and be committed and be consistent with it, and stay updated as well. Data science and statistical terms in non-technical way. As I said, common man's way. You should be able to explain. That is how you will be able to understand it. If you want to explain some of these terms, think of, if you don't find any peer or a colleague, think of your own family. Try explaining them those concepts. If they understand it, then it's great. That's what we should look at doing this. And I've included some of these notes, which is more about saying where are the various places and some of the basics and some of the advanced related questions I've tried to include here, and I can share more as well. Basis the need, I can get it across. So this is where I close, and yes, we have a good time, so we can actually start with the questions as well.
Okay, thanks, Nitesh. We can, okay. Guys, anyone who has a question, please put that in Q&A box. We'll pick questions from here. And yeah, so first question is from Abhishek Kumar. He's saying that I'm working as a sales manager in a startup. How can I proceed for a data science job?
Practically, Abhishek, when I think about it, you're already a sales manager. In that particular case, there are lots of needs that you will find yourself. So think of yourself as a process owner. Think of what are your various requirements. And then on the other side, you're also learning a course. Learn, apply. So apply to the problems that you are facing yourself. You will be able to proceed for this particular experience by yourself. There is nothing else that you would need to look at, because you will be able to do it. And when you start having that hands-on experience, then I think you're perfectly there. Because you're working as a sales manager, you know what are your needs, and you have implemented or have applied whatever you have learned here to those needs. And that's what is perfect for us. And that is what is important.
Great. I see a hand raised. Nilesh, you'll have to put your question in the Q&A box. Okay, I see that you have. All right. Moving on to the next one. Saurabh is asking, what is the path and guidance you'll give for a non-technical person in data science?
See, when we talk about non-technical person, practically when we say there are various roles, as I said. So you have to be clear on what type of a role would you like to proceed on. See, as a data scientist, you build your own models. And as a data engineer, you would actually be looking at implementing or coding those things. As a visualization expert, you would actually see on how I can visualize. So you would have to see on what is it that you want to. Basis that, you can continue learning and at the same time moving into that particular pathway. So as I said, the path and the guidance, as I have told you earlier in the webinar today, which is be consistent, stay updated, learn, update yourself, continue doing that out. See, being non-technical is okay, but at the same time, if you learn the domain, you can also look to do more and more. And as we continue to learn, yes, you'll be able to get it done. Sure, I know. I've seen the next question, Shivam. So it's more about the reference link to practice case studies. So ideally, if you go to the various links that I have given, GitHub and all, you would be able to get all those particular case studies with data as well. And some of the links in GitHub as an example, it's one of the much broader location where all of the data science related majority of the data science related case studies are available. So you should be able to look at all those particular things. You will have hackathons in those GitHub analytics when they are get into it, and you will be able to get all those things, including data, including the solutions as well, where some of the case studies which are available, they will have data and they will have solutions as well. So you can also try a bit by yourself, then compare saying what is the solution that is being there and what is it that I have built. Does it match, or is there something that I am missing here? Look at that particular part. You will be able to do a much good job and at the same time do wonders about it.
Great. I think it answers a couple of questions because Nilesh, Anshika, they had similar questions.
Sure. Nice.
So Nitish, is any drawbacks? You can pick up Nitish on your own.
Sure, I'll do that. So question from Ameya. It's any drawbacks from experience in other field currently in R&D automotive or need to start as fresher again? Practically, see, experience is an experience in terms of it, because when we talk about being in other field, we have that domain knowledge. So in that particular case, if you want to do data science, then why don't you do in the same domain itself? Why do you need to move into a different domain, do data science altogether? That's one way of looking at it, and it's very easy because in every field nowadays there is a requirement of a data science. There are many solutions that people are actually looking to do. So why not do in that same field altogether? You will have a lot of opportunities as well. How can I get into a data science, entry-level data science job? Yes, say I'm having 11 years of experience. See, with 11 years of experience, you might be into some field or into some development. So probably first is move into data kind of jobs, which is data analyst kind of a jobs, and then move into a data science. Because if you are coming in from a different level altogether and you want to directly get into a data science, as I said, either go for a growing companies or look for getting into more of data related roles and then move into the data science. So that way basically we stagger our approach, but at the same time it works for us. Thanks, Prashant. Working as a data analyst in banking operations using application Excel and other built-in apps of organization. Great, Selva. So this is a good way. See, now when you're trying to solve a lot of things, you're utilizing Excel and other built-in apps, but at the same time, can you do those things that you're trying to use or do in Excel using R or Python? There are various packages that are being given to it. So what kind of packages? How can I connect to that particular data and build these different things? Probably start with simple formulas that you actually do it in Excel or with pivots as an example. And then start to take it slowly more and more. As I said, 1% every day and we will be there. So that way, start doing that out and it actually works. Okay. Thanks, Sajil, for asking that question. Mechanical engineer and how can I change? So in this particular case, as I said, two things. One, start hackathons, build your digital presence, be part of hackathons, go for growing companies, and try moving into the data related jobs. That way, basically, you will be able to move. Will that be a straight move? It will not be. It will take few months to half a year, but we will be progressing towards that particular part. So you need to have a clear path of it and then move on with it. You can reach to that particular part. As to how data analysis expertise help in senior leadership roles such as strategy. Okay, Amit. Nice. So can you elaborate as to how would data analysis expertise help in senior leadership roles such as strategy, marketing, senior consultant? See, as an example, when we think, Amit here. See, Example that we are actually looking to launch a product. If you're launching a product, what is the right time? When should we do it? And all these particular things, it is dependent on the type of product, the area, what the product is trying to do, in which country are we trying to launch, in which city of that particular country are we trying to launch. All these particular things we have to analyze, and it is all about data. You have to analyze all this particular data and take it on further. That is when you will be able to come to a conclusion saying what is the right time or when is the right time for you to build this out or to look at launching that particular product. Because if you do wrong, then your product if your product launch goes wrong, then you're gone. So you have to analyze all the dependent and independent variables, as in when we think of data science. So you would have to think of all of these and then build across, including your own prices. The first thing on the to-do list was to have a good CV. So what are the keywords that a CV should have for a shortlisted, for a leadership level job opportunity? See, if in case you are looking out for a data science, then you should talk about how you have looked at driven implementations. It is more about implementations for a leadership level. They don't code it. So in that particular case, we should look at how do we have that particular part coming in. The moment we see that, okay, leadership level job opportunity is there, that means their expectations are also about implementation. How successful have they been? Or what kind of impact have they brought across? Have those particular things. And that's what is important. Sorry. And then thanks, Abhishek. Dimili, I don't see your question because I just say dear sir. I don't see anything else. Do you want to type your question again and then we can look at it? What is the scope for business analyst and data science? See, when I talk about business analyst is more of requirement gathering, if I think of it on a broader scale. So asking the right questions is a skill that business analysts carry very, very well. Very, very well. So utilize that particular skill. So it's a value add that you are trying to bring. So utilize that particular skill and take it forward. And that would be the most important thing that you can bring in. Because if you don't ask the right set of questions, you build an irrelevant product and it doesn't work. Currently working as a financial analyst in an MNC, how can I shift into an entry-level data science role? And I've already answered these questions. As always, look at data, look at domain, apply those particular things that you can do and do that particular thing. It works very, very well. What are the basic things that we need to take care when building an effective CV? One, be precise. Very be precise. One page of CV. If in case, think of yourself saying, if you want to represent yourself the best. See, understand that we have so many people in the market who are actually saying that, okay, yes, I understand everything. I know everything wrong. But is it the same way? How do I differentiate myself with others? And that's what is needed in that particular CV saying. How do I differentiate myself? And second is, what do the people need there? Do I have those relevant skills available? That's what is important. Okay, Reshma, I am from procurement with 7 years of experience. So when I'm applying for a data scientist job, should I mention my previous experience or should I ignore it? No. You should mention your own experience because procurement is again one of the very good domains. With procurement domain, if you want to have some kind of real-time scenarios of procurement and your answers to it, bring these things together. And that works because you're able to, you have experience, so don't live with it. Live with it and say, yes, I have these many years of experience. I have worked on these kind of sample scenarios or real world scenarios and these are my solutions, which works very, very well. Explain those things out. And as I said, digital presence perfectly works in this case. I'm an MSc physics student. How do I crack data? I have no technical background. Teja, as I mentioned, see, no technical background is perfectly fine, but we have to start somewhere. Start. And then you will be able to move into it. You will be able to move slowly, but you will be able to move. Which is via all the various things that I have mentioned. Be consistent, stay updated. All these particular things are very, very important. So doing that out. Will getting a upskill with data science give me more analysis knowledge and getting opportunities with other industries? See, data science, practically saying, every one of us used to apply. There was data science before this buzzword came in place as well. We used to analyze our data like normal, like as a very simple example, even in our household scenarios. We analyze numbers, salaries, expenses, all these particular numbers we still analyzed, saying what is my scenario? When do I see a seasoning, which is more in terms of seasoning, when I see in terms of price increases or my revenues going down, or when I see, okay, I don't have much of amount that I could save. Why? Everything was analyzed earlier as well. So we need to have that particular thing. Will it skill up? It will skill you up in terms of, it will sharpen your skills in terms of how to look at the data. Different ways of looking at the data, you will start to look at it. And as you gain more and more experience, yes, definitely it will open up opportunities with other industries as well. Definitely. Okay. Rishabh, I'm working as a solutions analyst in an ITS organization and working on data, but building dashboards and reports on that. How shall I ramp myself up as a data scientist for a career boost? See, when you're working as in a service organization, which is perfectly fine. Solutions analyst, which is more of building dashboards. That's your visualization. But if in case you want to take a couple of steps back, see, visualization is more about giving some KPIs or metrics on the available data, but can I explore the unexplored needs of the business and try to answer it in the business way, in a different way. Start thinking in a different way altogether. See, most often what happens is we are tuned to our ways of thinking, saying, okay, I know this, I will do this, but take a step back and think, okay, how can I do it differently? What do I do to be different than what I am right? You will be able to find many answers to it. Okay, I have 10 years of experience in the energy domain. What are the companies that I can look forward to? And see, these, if in case you actually see, there are many advertisements as well coming up in terms of it. Yes. So Aramco is one. There are multiple other companies that we are actually seeing in terms of energy, where they are trying to bring in real-time insights. Utilize those companies. They are, see, normally every energy company is trying to see on how better I can be, and how can I be better in terms of my own revenue, and how I can be placed efficiently. And for all of these particular things, efficiency comes in once you understand your process and you break the process in a way through which you can identify benefits in each and everything. And that's what we are here for. What is the scope of data science person in travel technology field? Okay, this is one of the much bigger thing that is actually happening across the system now when we talk about it. Data science person, travel technology, even if you are trying to search for certain locations, you are getting some hints, right? Even in terms of, when you're trying to browse on something in the Google, what it gives you is some kind of pop-up saying, okay, are you interested in these different areas? Or are you interested in going to this location? All of this because the person has read through your own story. They have actually understood on your own patterns. And that's what comes up. Patterns. That's the most important thing that the travel technology is utilizing nowadays. Much more. Okay. How to approach data science interviews with career break? What will help in shortlisting of profile for the interview? See, as I have answered Dhananjay, it's the same thing that matters. See, one, when you're trying to come back from a career break, probably move into a data field or a data related role, and then start building these different things out wherein you can improve and you are visible and you continue to build your solutions. everything will help you on it. I've recently completed my doctorate in mathematics. How can I proceed to enter? See, one of the common things that is needed in terms of a data science is modeling. And modeling comes via maths only, mathematics, purely. Algebra, statistics, linear maths. These are some of the minimum things that are needed. And you bring in all those particular things. So you are very good to move into this data science domain because you bring in that relevancy from a doctorate standpoint, which is a huge one for the people. Okay, Sarika, see, as I mentioned, Sarika, working as a teacher is fine, but at the same time, in that particular case, no coding background, perfectly fine. Start somewhere, experience it, build that out. See, whatever you have learned. See, nowadays, what we do is we go to YouTube, look at the videos and say, okay, now I understand. Practically don't do that. Get hands-on. Whatever you have learned, implement it and see that yes, you have learned it the right way and it is working, whatever is being told. That is when you will learn. Okay, Shivam, can I actually know the time, please? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. It's 6:49, Nitesh.
Perfect, we have good time. Okay, so what is the hierarchy of data science roles? So when it comes across to the hierarchies, it changes across various companies. Because what starts is more of data scientists and then senior data scientists and then more of the director level roles that comes up primarily. Because there would be one which is more of the process owners and then data science, then directors and above. So you would have people around these. So as I mentioned in my own roles of data science, you will have these different people. Data science, data visualization experts and data engineers. If we club all of them, then we have data. Whatever we call it as a term, and then we have the hierarchy on top. Okay, so great, Rishikesh. You are a fresher and you have completed a degree in maths and now doing data science. That's a good way. Start being part of the professional channels. Be into hackathons, internships. See, some of the companies, what they do is they also organize these hackathons. Be a part of it. They will be much more happy to see on what you are trying to build, and if they see that relevance coming from you, they will definitely take you in. Salary structures, probably this is quite different because it changes in every company. It changes from company to company, but what I can tell you is it is great. It has got a great future and it has got a great potential. So that's what I can say, because salary structure is quite internal to any company, so I will not be able to say much on it. Okay, I'm into a business development role with 14 years of experience in product and service industry. How can data science help me to get into a consulting firm? So, being in the business development, you are trying to answer some of the questions and answering questions is already into consulting firm. And in this particular role, what actually helps you is saying on what type of questions and how can the business be better. See, it's more about for you to understand saying what can business data science offer first. The moment you understand what all the things that data science can offer, it will help you frame those questions on how it can help you, because business development and getting into consulting is ideally a similar path, but in terms of data science, you have to understand those questions, saying what is it that data science can help me with. Then it will be able to correlate, because in the business development, you are trying to answer some of the things and that's how you are trying to build your own business. Okay. Next, going on, Ameya, also Python and R. Yes, these are the known things. Python is one of the most needed things nowadays. R is again one of the things that is quite utilized, but as a open source platform, it is a bit lesser utilized. But both of these are quite competitive in the market. But if you ask me, Python is more preferred across in the companies. Can you suggest what should be the best learning for a non-technical person? Get into a data role, data related roles. It could be data analyst as well. Get into that particular role. And after that, it will all be the pathway that you would like to choose for your own self. Data related roles, please. That's what is important. Will you get this presentation as the links are there? Yes, Renu, you will get these presentations. I'm working as a planning manager in construction company. What will be the suggestion for me as very new in data science? Which type of job can I get in data science field? See, one, Nikhil, as you're already in the construction company and you're working on it, see on what kind of answers or what kind of a vision. See, ideally the questions are the answer. The questions comes in with the vision that we have from a company standpoint. If we have that particular vision, then translate that vision into the questions which are stopping us or which are needed to be solved to achieve that particular vision. Then see how you can apply the knowledge of what you have built to solve that particular experience. Okay. I have domain expertise of around 18 years in a particular sector with introduction to AI. What kind of opportunities should I explore for career growth? See, one, Sagar, as I said, see, if you are into a particular domain, utilize that particular domain to gain exposure into this AI, ML and data science world. Work on real-time scenarios in the area or in the particular domain that you are very skilled at. Bring those various real-time scenarios, see on how you are answering it. Then move on towards exploring your own growth. It works that way. It really works that way. I'm having 5+ years of working experience. I was a SAP FICO consultant. Now I want to change my career into data science. I have completed a master's degree in economics. Any tips for me? See, one, as you're already working as a SAP FICO consultant, that means you are good in terms of the SAP system, or you're good in terms of the invoices, spends, and all these areas, right? The finance domain. So look at getting into that particular domain and see on how you can actually build it up. See, one thing that I would actually suggest everyone out here is don't look at changing the domain, because whatever you have gained as an experience in your own domain, utilize that particular experience, get to the real world scenarios and try to solve them. And that's what is important for all of us. Changing to a different domain and trying to solve a problem, you are creating much of a problem for yourself, because you have to learn a new domain, you have to implement solutions across in a new domain altogether. Why? We understand the data very well in the space that we are already experienced at. Why don't we look at that particular one? And that's what is important. Okay, Amit, I think I have answered these questions. So, Madhavi Arya, I'm from healthcare. How can I get into data analysis? See, if you can elaborate in terms of what do you mean by healthcare, I will be able to say. By this, do I assume that you are working in the healthcare industry? Okay, you are in healthcare operations. Okay, perfect. So in that particular case, see, you are already into the operations area, in the more towards the healthcare domain. So we have to look at a particular role that you are trying to perform, and then see on how we can actually get into, see, because in the activities or in the area that you are trying to perform, there could be some data, right? It can't be a case that we don't have any data to particular to it. So that's what is important. Working as a data analyst in banking operations using application Excel and other built-in, I think this was answered. How companies are shortlisting resume? See, one, when we say how companies are shortlisting resume, it is more about saying, what is it that I need from a job description, or what is it that I am looking out for? Do I see the same kind of skills, same kind of experience that I am looking out for? That works. Normally, the staffing team shortlist your resumes and then sends it across to the person who is hiring, or your hiring managers. In that particular case, shortlisting the resume for the first time is happening via the staffing team itself. In that particular case, you have to understand saying, what is the job description? What is it actually needs? And do I know all those particular things are? And is it available in my resume? That works. For a technical person, is it suggested to build data models within the current company using available data before applying elsewhere? Yes. Perfectly yes. That gives you a lot of experience in terms of saying what do I do, how do I do, and what are the gaps, and what you will, by doing all these particular things, you will gain more and more exposure in terms of what are the simple mistakes that we do when we are trying to do this, and you will learn a lot more during the implementation stages. So do that, please. That will be very, very good. Will it be possible to work as a freelancer in data science? Should I start as a fresher in data science? I have 15 years of experience in data visualization, data engineering. See, practically saying you can start, but if in case you have the relevance knowledge in terms of how to build models, how to build, see, if in case you have a perfect digital visibility, then yes, you can work as a freelancer. But if in case you don't have that visibility, then create that visibility and initiate your work as a freelancer. How to research and growing companies? You can go through various things of what they're trying to do, what their plans are. All of these different things are important. See, it is more about saying, see, everyone has a vision and how they are trying to approach. What are do they have any kind of case studies that they have published in the recent times? What are their finances like? Has they been improving? What are those specific areas where they are improving? How is their ROI? All of these particular things you would have to do. Then you would actually see saying what are they trying to achieve and how to get into it. Okay, Dimili, I am a chemical engineer with an MBA in marketing, which is nice. I have 3 years of experience in sale and marketing of medical devices. Perfect. How could you help me channelize my career into business analytics and chemical? See, when you are actually into the sales and marketing, that means you are on the field, practically. So if you take into the operations side, you would actually get that particular access to the data that you are, or your colleagues are doing for that particular company. The moment you are into the operations, you have access to the data, utilize whatever the skills that you have built, and then connect to it. That works. That works as wonders. What is the package I expect with the energy company now? I have data science background. See, as I said, it is quite difficult to say in terms of what they would be offering, but it is all good. That's what I can say. Because I will not be able to comment specifically on the numbers because I don't know what your current package and everything else, but we will not be able to say that. As we are still learning the concepts, how can we start building the data presence immediately? Go to these GitHubs, Analytics India, be part of hackathons or whatever the real world scenarios which are already solved. Take those scenarios, work on it, and then see on what you have worked and what is the solution given, what is the gap there, and that way it works. Nilesh, have got 20 years of experience in the IT industry, currently managing technical project delivery, have technical background as well. Which role should I look in data science? How should I go about? See, ideally in that particular case, Nilesh, do I prefer you to look into data science? I would prefer you to move into the kind of a leadership roles into it as only, because with the kind of experience that you have and the domain knowledge and every other skill that you have and the background, looking at the background that you have as a stronger in data science, then I would actually say look at senior roles. But in that particular case, look at building those kind of requirements into the current role, build those particular deliveries in terms of building those data science products, getting that implemented, getting that valued, and then look at it. That way it will be beneficial for you. Okay. Shivam?
Hey Nitesh, yeah. I think you have answered around 50 questions today, and we still have a lot of these, but I see a lot of questions are already answered. I see a very similarity in the types of questions that you have already answered. I've been listening all this while. So if you have time for next 5 minutes, you can take another set of questions, or like it's your call.
Sure. So any specific questions that, because you might have gone through the questions majorly, so any specific questions that are probably different which I could answer upon?
I think so. Everything is similar. Like everyone is asking about their own domain, so that we have seen so far. There's one question that I see, that a difference between business analyst and data scientist.
Okay.
In case you have not taken this up till now, you can pick this up.
Sure, I can do that. So Sneha, the difference between a business analyst and data scientist is one wherein business analyst is more of kind of trying to bridge a gap between the stakeholders or your own business to IT teams primarily. So that's the kind of a thing that I would actually expect from a business analyst. And from a data scientist standpoint, a person who understands the problem, understands the need of the business, explores their data, builds the model through which they can answer their needs. They will develop the models, but getting it practically implemented again will be more of a data engineer kind of role. So that's the difference that I have already mentioned in the type of roles in the data science. So have a look at that particular part. You should be able to get into it very clearly, saying how the differences exist across.
You answer Prashant's question that he has a 5+ years of working experience. He was a SAP FICO consultant and now want to change into data science.
Yes. So I have answered that question as well.
Great. All right. So I think a lot of them are very similar now. So I think we can put an end to today's session. You allow, Nitesh?
Sure, yeah. And see, as I said, please stick to your own domains because you have gained exposure and experience into that domain. The important things that you have to do is, as I mentioned here, particularly, learn by doing. Once you learn, apply, be consistent, stay updated, be visible. No time is the right time because that's what is important. So do all these particular things and that will work for all of you. That's what I would actually say and end my presentation here.
Great. Thank you so much, Nitesh. Thank you for a wonderful session. I'm sure each one of our attendees learned something today from your experience and knowledge. And, thank you so much again for taking out time and being here with us. And thank you to all our learners for joining this session. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all. Take care.